Well, here we are, Thoughts from the Office, Rednecks Pride Outdoors, December 31st, New Year's Eve. 2024 is going to start tomorrow. And I'm not one for New Year's resolutions. I'm not going to be. Change what needs to be changed when you need to change it. Don't make a resolution and don't stick with it, you know. Might notice something different. I'm not in the same old Ranger anymore. Last week I had the tensioner go in that little 4.0. And when it went, it bent a valve and some other things. So I was forced to get another truck, small truck. I got my big truck. That's too hard on gas. I like the little one, so I got a little Dodge Dakota. So I can still take it in the woods and trap and what have you. Nice truck though. Like it so far. Anyway, I guess that's my new thing for New Year's Eve. Got a new truck we're running. But as I'm talking to folks at the end of the year and they're trying to get ready for the new year, my beaver season starts tomorrow, January 1st. Our beaver season started December 26th. But I couldn't get into my spot beaver trap. For one thing, truck broke down, and another thing, that zone in which I'm trapping beaver, I can't start until January 1st. But as I'm talking to a lot of new snaremen, it's hard for a lot of new snaremen to grasp what they're trying to do. And for some odd reason, God has never allowed me to forget the frustrations that I had back in 1986. We had the foothold taken from us in 1984, and it gave us until this fall of 1986. And in the fall of 1986, Fish and Wildlife gave us what we call at that point non-lethal body gripping restraining snare. Boy, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? Ironically, those regulations in 1986 was nothing. Let me rephrase that. In 1986, it was a snare they gave us. In 1987, we had to start using the non-lethal body gripping restraining snare. So we went one whole season with just a regular snare. Now I was an old foothold boy. I had, by that time, by 86, I had been trapping 18 years or so. So I had a pretty good handle on footholds. And I was known as a fox boy. I caught more raccoons, but I just like today, you know, for most of you, I like the image of IR fox trapper. And I caught my fair share, don't get me wrong. Didn't have coyotes really at that point. There were some here, but nothing really to, you know, you never saw them. Never heard of them. You saw a coyote track, you was in awe, you know. So I was a fox boy. And I liked the reputation that went with being a fox boy, you know. So we got that snare, and I knew nothing about it. And in 1986, we had the Trapper Predator Caller. We had Fur Fish and Game. That was it, man. You had Dan DeZarn had a book out on snaring in 1986. And you had O'Gorman had a video out in 1986 on snaring. So to say that I went into this cable thing completely I was lost. Okay. And I still remember that. God has not allowed me to forget about that. So when I'm talking to the new trappers of today, I still remember the frustrations of going from a fox boy, top-notch fox boy, to not being able to catch a cold in the last one pants down. Humbling. And I went all season. Not making a catch on a fox until the last week, and the light bulb came on. And when the light bulb came on, the last week of the season, now I know our season went to March 15th, and I know, where, you're catching females and it's pregnant. I know it all, okay, but I was going to catch a fox. And the very first fox I caught, oh, that hurt. The very first fox I caught last week of the season, 5 days left of the season, I caught that fox by the back foot. Remember, I had a snare. I didn't have we didn't have the cable restraint at that point. But what happened at that point with me catching that fox by the foot, the light bulb came on, and I, for some odd reason, somehow, God allowed me to see everything that I had been doing wrong. And the biggest thing that I was doing wrong is I was trying to use cable with a foot trapper's mentality. And all of a sudden I realized you can catch by accident a critter or two, and I had a lot of fox back in them days. We're getting fox again now, but back in them days I had a lot of fox, a lot of gray fox, a lot of red fox. And when you have a lot of critters, you can, by accident, catch some critters. And depending on your personality, you can honestly believe you're pretty good. By accident. But it's accident. And I realized at that point that what I was doing wrong. And I caught a fox a day for the next 5 days. So I ended the season with 5. Compared to my normal numbers, which was humbling. But I was excited, tickled pink, because I caught 5 in 5 days with intent. Not accident, but with intent. Next year they came through with the deer stop and the swivel thing, which, like everybody, oh my goodness, it's going to mess me up, we're not going to catch it, because in my brain I kept remembering that first fox by the foot. And the reality was, the very next season, I caught a whole bunch of fox in cable restraints. What am I getting at? Jonesy, what are you getting at here? Well, it's simple. What we do as humans is we want fast results. What we do as humans is we want to, in today's world anyway, to the new trappers that I'm talking to. Let me go back and regress and go back to my original point of new trappers here. In today's world of when you go to college, which everybody does, I wish I had, but I don't. I don't think I was smart enough to even get through it. I probably would have been a dummy anyhow. Whatever. But anyway, when you go to college, you read everything. Or you look at a video and you learn from the video, you learn from reading, and that works. That works a lot. The problem with that is it doesn't cover everything. So the tendency of today's new trapper is you have a tendency to want to go to all the videos that's out there. Go on to YouTube. I got YouTubes. This is YouTube. Okay, you go to YouTubes and you look at the videos. But the reality is the videos all say the same thing. And those of us who have experience, we glean from those videos. We pull a lot of information from those videos. Why? Because we've been there, done that, and we can surf the stuff that we already know, and then pick up the stuff that we didn't know. Okay. But to the new trapper, you're looking at the video, or you're reading a Trapper's Post article, or you're reading a what's that? All the trapping publications out there, Trapper's World and Trapper Predator Caller still around, and then you're reading the books and you're watching the videos, and we're doing all that stuff. And the problem with that is this: we've got it here, but we don't have it here. Or better saying, we don't have it here. What's the difference between here and here? Well, this is gut. This is gut. This is when you've been at it a while, you look at something and your intuition says do this, but your gut says, nah, don't do that. Because your gut's based on experience. You know, everybody wants to do the same old, same old. I wrote a couple of posts about that. Problem with same old, even though the same old works 95% of the time, you get down to that 5% and it don't work no more. And then what happens? Now you're left holding the bag trying to figure it out. What happens when you're holding the bag trying to figure it out? You're not using your senses. You're not using everything that God gave you, because you're just trying to make it happen, and it's worse. Biggest question: how do I catch a fox? What size loop? And I say to them, don't matter. Use whatever size loop that fits the trail. Well, you know what? In all reality, to me, that makes sense. To you snaremen out there that's been snaring a long time, that makes sense. Make the loop and height fit the trail according to the critter you're after. But to the new trapper, the new snareman, what the heck does that mean? Then I talk about sight line, sight picture. I talk about ceilings. I talk about forced chin-ups. I talk about forced duck unders. Not what we put in, not a chin up that I put in, or not a duck under that I put in, but the chin ups and the duck unders that the trail has already there. Most folks don't see it, so they want to try to figure out where they're going to put a 7x7 for a fox, because that's what everybody tells us to use. I remember getting that video when I first started snaring, not knowing anything about it. And that old boy out west hung a 10-10. That's what I did, a 10-10, a 10-10, a 10-10, a 10-10. And I couldn't catch nothing. Then I went, figured out, oh, we got to go down to a 7-7. And I caught a lot of fox in a 7-7 until I wasn't catching fox in a 7-7. Then I went to, oh, it's got to be a 6-7. And then I went to, no, it's got to be an 8-8. No, it's got to be a 7-8. You see, I was putting all these haftas on me. And it wasn't until that fox got caught, and the next year when I consistently caught, and the year after that I consistently caught, I started to realize, you know what? It ain't 7-7. It ain't 7-8. It ain't 8-7. It ain't 6-7. It's what's the trail calling for. And the only way you get that, is get your knees dirty and make mistakes, people. I'm going to use Jason Turner here as an example. He's going to kill me for it, but an old boy out of Arkansas. I've been talking to Jason for a long, long time. Many years. I was hard on him. I was hard on him. I don't know how many times I told him he was dead to me for the things he did. He's a good trapper now, though. He's a good trapper. Good ADC man. He knows his stuff. Don't let anybody tell you that. He knows his stuff. But his problem was he didn't want to fail. He didn't want whatever he was doing not to work. And I remember saying to him, Jason, the only way you find out what does work is by doing things that don't work. Folks, you gotta make mistakes. Don't make stupid mistakes. Don't catch somebody's dog. Don't set a cable restraint where people are running their dogs. Don't be dumb. I'm not saying to be dumb. I'm saying you've got to experiment. You got to look at that trail and you got to look. Is there something here that's going to make that critter drop its head? Is there something here that's going to make that critter raise its head? Where's he putting his feet? What does that matter, Jonesy? Excuse me. But if you know where he's putting his feet, folks, you know where his head's going to be. You're going to hear me hunt high or hunt low, travel high. If he's traveling, is he looking? What's that got to do with anything, Jonesy? Well, if he's traveling and he's looking, where's his head? If he's hunting and he's smelling and he's looking and he's trying to find something to eat, what's that matter, Jonesy? Where's his head? Know the critter, man. Know the critter. Something, if you got his attention with sight appeal, where's his head? Hey, good place for a plug here. I'm going to do that. January 19th, 20th, and 21st this year, we got another South Jersey Trapping and Snaring School coming up. Not too late to get registered. January 19, 2021, 2024. Newt, Morgan, and I will be going all over this stuff. 3 days. 3 days of this stuff. Not the only way. Not the best way. Just other ways. I think they're good ways, but incorporate what I say, incorporate what Newt says, incorporate what Morgan says into what you do or what you know already, and run from there, man. Our average student has 20 to 30 years experience. This is not a brand new school, okay? This is a school for you old boys and girls. There's a lot of women coming out anymore. For you trappers that know your stuff, we're just going to add a little bit more to you, just a little bit that you can incorporate. I don't want to make you a clone of Jonesy. I want you to take what Jonesy knows, add it to what you already know, and come out better. Well, I'm going to leave it there. Pulling up on a job right now. Any old hell. So, next time, Redneck's Pride, Thoughts from the Office. See ya.